No, you're totally fine.
What's up, guys? Today we have a very special guest. We also have some pretty cool credit card news, and we've actually got, I don't want to get too far into it. We've got a big time traveler with us, and we've only been talking to each other for just a few minutes now. And this feels like we could have a lot of funny stories between us. So today, guys, I want to introduce to you, before we get started with What'd You Book, before we do any of that, you can preemptively put your What'd You Book comments in the
Yes,
comment
please do.
section, because Travis is actually super interested and he loves the What'd You Book. But guys, today we have Mr. Travis White. We're going to link all his stuff in the description and maybe remind me because I might forget. But Travis,
No
we're
worries.
going to let you go ahead and tell us your story real quick, and before we get started, because I'm sure most of these guys know you, but if they don't, I got something special for you guys.
Absolutely. So just really high level, running a YouTube channel, which is how obviously we got, Luke and I got connected. I had started about 4 years ago, but I was really focused. I'm really into personal finance. I love investing. I love travel. Long story short, I did that for about a year. I got a little bit burnt out, and then just recently, I decided that I was going to restart the channel, but focus on purely travel, points and miles, credit cards, and you can kind of see how I transitioned. I'm a pretty frugal guy. I love to travel. Obviously, wanted to make travel cheaper, so the transition just kind of made a lot of sense. But yeah, it's been an exciting ride so far. Brief but exciting.
That sounds perfect for this audience, because I do know we do have a lot of hybrid cashback guys. They're kind of closeted cashback guys because we can all agree it's not that interesting. But you'll see in these comments coming up, these guys are not your everyday normal travelers. These
Mhm.
guys are, I mean, let's just look here. What do we have so far? Ski trip in Colorado. That might sound standard, but that's super cool. It just is. I saw Tokyo, Hyatt Centric in Tokyo. Tokyo is everybody's grail, right? It's or at least one of the aspirational destinations. We got Mr. Rewards Master here, two of my favorite fellow creators. Good guys, if you haven't checked out Rewards Master's channel, he's another big league traveler.
Yes, he is. That's one of the reasons why I love following his channel. The guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and guys, you this audience we have here, you guys can tell the people who have walked down those cobblestone streets, and the guys who get the credit cards for their Lululemon hoodie. And I'm not knocking Lululemon because I just wore a Lululemon hoodie today and I love it. But you can tell there's guys who min max the credits and buy rings that tell them their heart rate, and buy the Lululemon sneakers, and the guys who are walking in the back roads where they probably shouldn't be halfway across the world.
100%. 100%.
Brady Smith is my guy. Brady Smith is one of our crew who has been to a lot of our meetups and stuff. And he's a young kid. He's not a kid. He's a young man deep into the miles game. And let's see what he's got here. Toronto to Prague. Come on.
Oh
Come on.
man.
I went to Prague a couple of years ago, and one of the coolest places you could ever go. 45,000 Alaska miles. And he's headed to Vietnam. Come on, man. Like, Brady and his brother are living the dream as young professional men, big leaguers.
You'll have to keep us updated on that trip to Vietnam, because I will
You're
say
not going to, you'll never keep up with them.
he just traveled that much.
He went to Lima after I did. I still haven't got to hear too much about it, but he stayed at the same place I stayed at, had a good time. I try to keep up with all his redemptions, but he's in it to win it. Yeah.
Jealous.
Memphis Mike is a long-time friend of the channel. Good dude. He's in Vegas right now. There you go, man. Big money, no whammies. Okay.
Travel fan. The answer is yes. This is my first live stream.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I got you before some of the other guys do, because if somebody goes on somebody else's show, sometimes I won't have them on.
It spoils the fun.
It's just, yeah. It's like you've lost your credibility.
Mm-hmm.
First live. I don't want to miss that. Here's the thing. Conrad St. James, December in London. Brad, you're a stud. That sounds really awesome. Mr. Jimmy Duff. We met Mr. Jimmy Duff in Puerto Rico at a creator meetup. Super cool dude. And one of my guys here, Anthony Venture, he's talking about Brady Smith. Brady's insane, man. We actually tried to find Brady a wife in Puerto Rico. We had solid fundamentals and good intentions. I don't think it happened.
I will say it's a good place to do it.
Yeah, well, she was Canadian, right, Brady? I think she was Canadian. Stinky Monkey Baby is in the house. Oh, here we go. There's a Travis fan. Great to see Travis on a live stream. Oh, yeah. We talked about that. Tokyo with Built. Dem's been all over the credit card points and miles YouTube scene lately. Park Hyatt Tokyo. See, this is what I mean, Travis. These guys in this chat, they're booking aspirational, wildly crazy, cool stuff. And we have a rule here. This is the grown folks live stream. So we don't hoop and holler and giggle all night. But we are allowed to brag about our redemptions, because here's why. Not everybody in this game knows how to do it. And we found that out just by watching other channels. These guys, I want to say, are the most knowledgeable audience in the game as far as putting rubber to the road.
Travel people are my people.
5 nights at the Waikola Village. I mean, how do you compete with that? That's awesome, man. That's my
favorite, or sorry, my parents' favorite hotel basically in the world. They love that place.
Mr. Richard, CMH is my home airport, Columbus to JFK to what's Easy E? Is that oh man, you got me. What is Easy? Is Easy E? It's not Buenos Aires.
Easy E, I don't know.
It's South America somewhere.
Easy E Airport.
But I'm thinking it's probably a big league.
Buenos Aires. I was actually there's a pretty nice and your audience is going to laugh at me because I'm a Priority Pass guy. There's a decent Priority Pass lounge in that airport.
Which airport is it?
Buenos Aires.
Okay, that's what I thought. Richard, I mean, man, that's such. I'm jealous, man. I'm jealous every time I do this. 4 nights at the Grand Hyatt Tokyo. Okay, Mr. Bop's got it. Cathay Pacific Business, Hong Kong to Seoul. I like that. Seoul to Taipei. That's a lot of flying over in Asia.
Yeah,
I hope you enjoy that. That would be a really cool adventure, though. I like that. Okay, so Mr. Mark is going to let his wife plan the itinerary in Tokyo. Probably the best thing to do there. See, Brady says she was Canadian. Anthony's going to have a girl lined up for him in Charleston. The next creator meetup in Charleston, Labor Day weekend. Are you going to that, Travis?
I'm not actually. I didn't even know that there was anything going on. But now that I know,
we'll have to get you in the loop. You need to join Anthony Ventures Discord.
Yeah.
Because a lot of information is shared there, especially about the meetups and stuff like that. And his Discord has a ton of really, really good dudes that help out and make that community great. So it's Labor Day weekend, Charleston, South Carolina. The majority of people are trying to stay at the Dunes Hyatt Resort. I can't go because flag football.
Yeah, but, you got fatherly duties to attend to.
Yeah, I got to try to be a good dad. But I do have a channel announcement. And I talked to Travis about this before. I mentioned last week I was going to have an announcement for you guys. And I did announce it on my members only videos. And really no shame in my plugs. I do have a channel membership. It's $2.99 a month. Cancel anytime. Channel membership gets you priority replies on your comments. And it also gets you access to my members only videos that contain maybe higher level techniques and stuff that I don't want just in public. I may talk some smack. I may talk about how I'm using some of these points in a manner that I don't feel comfortable sharing with 10,000 people at once. But you can join the membership, binge watch all the videos and quit. I don't mind. But back to the announcement. Speaking of Anthony Venture hosting the creator meetup, the real creator meetup in Charleston, South Carolina, Labor Day weekend in 2026, I am going to have my own personal solo trip meetup. And let me explain a little bit about my thoughts on this. I wanted to do a meetup in really a randomly generated cool place that a lot of people have probably never been there. I wanted to do it in January, and I wanted the weather to be really nice. I'm not allowed in Colombia anymore. Me and Yuri have been kicked out of Colombia. so I picking Santiago, Chile, in January. Now I'll have more on this in the future, but if I can I'm sorry, I should have had this already there. Um, I think it's the 14th and 15th. We're going to do a meetup. Do I expect anybody to be there? No, I don't. I don't expect anybody to go there. So if you're thinking about it, it would be super cool. Just really laid back, just a random place in South America that probably nobody's been. I'm sure some of you guys have been there, but I'll have more information about that in the future. But save the dates. I think it's 14, 15, 16, January 2027. You got plenty of time. We're going to drink some wine, some pisco sour, it's empanadas, all that good stuff. And I don't speak Spanish. So if any of you Spanish speakers out there want to go, I appreciate it.
I'm going to plan on making it. I tell you what, that sounds like a cool trip. And I will say, I don't speak Spanish either, despite my wife being from Mexico.
Oh, so, wow. Okay.
Is what it is.
Well, I've never needed to speak it. So I think we'll make it.
Yeah.
Anthony says Chile is interesting. Open to everybody, man. And it's not meant to compete or supersede the great yearly meetup we do. It's just one of these extra things I thought would be interesting to throw it out there and see who would want to visit, have fellowship, all that good stuff. Mr. Cesar Joel, who just hosted the Puerto Rico meetup. It was unreal, amazing. I'd been to Puerto Rico before, but this was a different level. This was a lot of fun. Took the whole family. So great. Thank you, Caesar, again for doing that.
Cesar's from
Puerto Rico,
from there, right?
Yeah.
I will say travel is just so much better if you know somebody who's local.
Well, he made it so advantageous. He helped put together different things. He really super strong leadership. Cesar's a retired Army guy, so he's got the leadership, right?
Yeah.
And he had a central location where everybody kind of had a base of operations. He had missions for us to complete. It was exactly how it's supposed to be. Yeah.
That's
100%.
Awesome.
Can't say enough good stuff about my man Cesar. The rewards master is like Santiago. We're starting to get a
group together.
Yeah. Mr. Mount Clausen's in the house. What's up, sir? Valpo, Chile looks cool, but I heard it could be sketchy. See, here's the thing. we talked about the sketchiness of areas before. And I think me and Travis are the same mind. I'm not at all worried about the sketchiness. My life's mission has been to deal with sketchiness. I mean, since I'm 18, so I'm not worried about that. In general, criminals / predators, the only thing they're really good at is picking victims. And I am way too heavy to kidnap and way too handsome to beat on. So
no one is going to be picking you. And what I found is that, like, if you land in a place and you talk to locals, because you're bound to talk to locals, just ask, just talk to people and they'll tell you.
Yeah. And I not to sound there's not going to be very many Chileans that can pick me up and throw me in the back of a car.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I've been to Peru. I did not meet a Peruvian that could pick me up and throw me in a car. So I'm hoping as I travel further down south that stays that way.
Mm-hmm.
Cesar says Chile sounds great. Yeah, Anthony's already here's how good these guys are, man. They're all, you just mentioned a route, and they can. I didn't know you could do Air France from New York to Santiago. That is I might, depending on the plane, I might have to switch my I'm doing Miami to Santiago direct on LATAM using Virgin Miles.
Oh, interesting.
Using a lot of Virgin Miles. But
if you don't mind me asking, what was the cent per point? I know that a lot of people don't care about
two.
Yeah.
It was not good. Now it's 2 on the surface, but I did use that 40% bonus with Chase. Mm-hmm. Changes the numbers a bit, but it's not a good deal. It's not something I'm going to brag about. But it's a good example of,
as an economy traveler, 2's pretty good.
Yeah, well, it's I don't know what to say. It's not something I'm bragging about, but like I told you before when we got on air, I'm flying most of that direct in a lie flat. I'm sacrificing the cents per point to get the most convenient way to go. And I've never flown Latam, and that matters to me. I want to experience that.
Neither have I.
I am going to check out what Anthony's got there, the New York to. It's just hard for me to go away, just logically, like go further away to take a direct flight, but it does make sense.
He did mention that it's Copa metal, like a Copa flight, and I have not heard great things about. I mean, well, I've never been in business class. I've flown Copa many times, but as far as business class, I've not heard great things.
I'm willing to bet that stops in Panama City.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to bet that's not direct. Yeah, because and Panama, I love Panama too.
Same.
Copa, I don't know. Yeah, I think Copa's going to depend on the plane. I'm not sure exactly because some of those, like you can get an Avianca, and a lot of those business class flights they look just like our domestic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be real careful with it. And it's also some of those airlines. It's hard to find out what the plane has.
Yeah.
Mr. Mike Newland just gifted 10 memberships, guys. If you got a membership, let's hear it. Let us know. I hope you guys use it, enjoy it, and like I said, binge watch all those videos and cancel if it's something you're not into or something that's not in your budget right now. Who day, baby? See, Travis, I don't know if you're a sports ball guy, but me and Mike, we're Bengals fans.
Oh man.
Oh, and Ohio State fans. If Texas is good enough to compete with them,
it's a hard life. It's a hard life.
I'm not sure right now if Texas is good enough to compete with Ohio State for it to be any kind of rivalry, but
they're typically pretty good, and they beat A&M every year. It's painful.
Yeah, and I always kind of mess with Spencer Johnson. He's another Austin. Are you guys Austinites?
Austinites, yep.
Austinites, yeah. Latam, New York that's somewhere in Brazil. April 2nd. Nice move, Richard. Wait a minute, I didn't get one. Buenos Aires is livelier than Santiago. See, I've heard a lot of things that they're very comparable. I've heard one's a little livelier, one's a little cleaner, one's a little sketchier, one has a little bit better, and it's always like they alternate categories.
And I'm gonna guess a lot of times it kind of depends on where you are. Because I remember, like Buenos Aires, there's places where it just feels like there's just high income, and there are areas where you could describe it as you need to know where you're going. And I'm gonna guess probably the same with Santiago.
Yeah, and I also think that just like you said, the places have both those versions of themselves. I also think it matters what you're bringing to the table, and your style of if you go out at night. I'm not a party guy. You would never. I don't think you'd ever see me out after midnight. That's with a time change.
I turn into a prune. I can't do it either.
So I think that, I mean, you could go to a lot of places at 2, 3, 4 in the morning and find trouble.
Yeah.
Whoa, Lithium, what's up, man? Juan Garcia, what's up, big guy? All right, guys. With that announcement out of the way, we do have a couple topics today, and I know you guys have done the What You Book. If you're and don't feel like you need to catch up, because you guys know when I have a guest, it is a little harder to keep up on comments, and that's just because we're both talking so much. But you guys understand the big news of the day. And Travis and I talked for real briefly, maybe like 2.5 minutes on this. And I want to talk about tonight. What I don't want to do is we're probably both going to do our own full detailed video review on this card. So don't expect a bunch of deep thoughts and numbers and calculations, but we did want to talk about it because, I mean, come on, it is the big news for the day. And I also want to know what you guys think about it too. So I don't know what all you guys know about this. And Travis, we can go over it real quick. I don't want to go over it too in depth, but go over it real quick and kind of give us our initial thoughts on it. And I can tell you my first initial thought is the marketing is brilliant and super cool, like visually.
That's part of the game now. I mean, they're bragging about what it's made. They're bragging about what it's made out of.
And I want to say this. Everybody keeps saying it's 99.9% platinum. It's plated. So not quite the same thing. 5 times higher credit limits with Robinhood Gold Card. I'm going to say that I think that's overrated. That's over.
I agree.
I never care what is on any of my cards except for I need a high limit on one card that goes overseas in case something terrible happens.
1,000%. And frankly, like, I mean, obviously depends on your spending. Maybe some of you guys, I don't doubt that a lot of you guys are high rollers. Maybe it matters to you more. But for me, as long as I've got a limit of 6,000, 5,000, I'm good to go. So yeah, I don't really care all that much.
I just, it's cool if it says 50 grand or something, but whatever. How do we want to do this? We could just go down the advertisement here. The big draw with the earnings, it's cashback card, guys. If you have the Robinhood Gold card, and that's a completely different animal than this thing, I think I put it in a completely separate category. But the cherry on top, I guess, is going to be the 5% cashback on dining, which I think is great.
As far as multipliers, that's the only cherry. That's the cake.
That's it. Yeah. Travis spoiled the whole surprise. That's all you're getting. 1% on everything else. Well, they do have the portal stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
That's okay. So portal, we're going to do 10% cash back on hotels and cars. I like that. I'm not going to put that down, and 5% back on flights. I like it, but it's not groundbreaking, and it's not going to knock your Aunt Connie's socks off. Let's go ahead and admit that. Before we go any further, this something that will knock your Aunt Connie's socks off is this Joker costs $700.
Yeah,
$695. That puts it in. It puts it in a tier that some people are just stopped listening about it.
I mean, really, there are only two major cards that any of us talk about that's above that. I mean, right. It's obviously the Reserve and the actual Amex Platinum. It just feels like you're essentially paying $700 for a massive coupon book with really one multiplier that is drawing you in, which is just the dining piece. So yeah.
Let's go ahead and skip down to this. They're going to advertise $3,000 in value, and that's not untrue. And here's my stance on coupon books, Travis. I don't know if you're a coupon book guy, but I do not mind having a coupon book, meaning just one coupon book. I don't mind having 10.
Yeah.
But I have learned. I've had all of them, and I've learned that more than one takes away a lot for me. Takes away the fun, takes away the I can't maximize more than one. I found myself last year and this year having no idea how I would spend some of these credits because everything's full.
Yeah.
So I like the Amex Platinum. I like the Lululemon.
I don't, if I have a card with credits on it pains me to let things fall off. And this, I mean, if you're getting this card, man, it probably needs to be your main card because there's a lot on it that you're going to have to keep up with. And some of which, I mean, we were talking about it before the stream. There's like the $10 DoorDash credits. There's multiple of them per month, and there's a $50 minimum.
I wanted to kind of go down some of these.
Sorry about that.
The ones that, at least the ones that aren't as they appear on the service. But first, Mike just gave out 10 more memberships. Mike, you're a killer. Man. You are you're legit, man. You're a great member of this community. Appreciate you so much. Ian got the built and the fidelity. Denied for the PNC. Okay. We'll be into the Robinhood Platinum if you can keep the. Here's the thing. We're skipping ahead, but the stream last night said you had to upgrade the gold to the platinum, leading almost everybody to kind of understand that you can only have one. I'm going to be real honest, and spoiler alert, I would not give up my 3% catch-all card for this card. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but let's go to the these credits that might not be exactly what we're thinking. The travel credit, it's $150 every 6 months, and it's pretty much any travel.
That's a good credit.
Yeah, that's nothing, no complaining, nothing. That's good stuff. The hotel credit, if that were the same thing, I would say that's it. Get the card. It's not. It's $250 twice a year on a portal booking of 2 nights.
Mm-hmm.
And the portal booking is in their high class section of hotels.
I didn't know that part.
Yes, it's in there. Whatever the hotel program they have, that's like the FHR or the Edit. It's in their high end. Now you can use it for hotels that are in the regular hotel portal, but you only get $200 every 2 months, I think.
The fact that you're kind of stuck with expensive hotels kind of ruins it for me. Because at first I thought, oh, that's decent. That kind of ruins that.
The priority pass, value that how you want. That could be crazy valuable, or it could just be your 16th priority pass. I'm thinking if you're looking at this card, you probably don't have a priority pass.
And does anybody watch it, or Luke, do you know if that comes with a guest? Because at least whenever I read the terms,
I don't know if we found out yet. I don't think we found out for sure yet. And I don't know. So I should have probably looked at the terms and conditions, because I have the terms and conditions coming up here. Let me see.
It doesn't mention anything about guests, which tells me it likely doesn't, but I don't know that for sure.
It does not. It says entitles the primary card holder.
Yeah.
Does not mention any guests. So I would say it doesn't mention guests. Does it include guests?
Agreed.
Because that would be a pretty good selling point. The global entry. Do you have global entry, Travis?
Yeah. Even if I didn't have a credit card that offered it, I would. I tease a little bit, just because that is a great benefit of a card. And I think especially for people with one card that gives them that benefit, wildly valuable. But at the end of the day, that's over a 5-year time span. You're saving basically 20 and change per year by having that. And it is well worth it.
Yeah, I wanted to emphasize that if you're ever going to leave the country, get it, because it comes with TSA PreCheck, which you'll probably use a lot more. But just picture this, guys, especially you dads. You had a great vacation in some former pirate island in the Caribbean. You drank some rum. You had a great time. Most of us at the end of our vacations, at least that travel day, we're not in the best mood, right? We're a little bit tired, a little bit. Having that global entry and not sitting in line for customs is a godsend. It is completely worth $120, even if you don't have it on a credit card. Just use it.
And I did want to add on top of that, and I cannot tell you how many times I've entered the country and I had what I thought was a long layover was not a long layover, and global entry made it so that I made my flight.
Yeah. Sometimes you can get confused on time zones.
Yeah.
But you're right. It just for that, it opens up doors, so you don't have to schedule that 4-hour layover, that 5, or that 7-hour layover some of us had.
Yeah.
Autonomous rideshare credits. Now you have those in Austin.
We do. The only thing is, even that has a catch to it, because we have a lot of Waymos here, but you can only order Waymo through Uber. So how does that get credited? Because it's luck of the draw. You can't select a Waymo. It's just, if it's within that area, you end up getting Waymo. So will that count?
Well, the terms say it's $20 a month, extra and $30 in December. Credits are auto applied once the transaction posts. So I don't know. It does. And it's that situation you have. I don't know if it's even worth chancing it or even worrying about it.
I agree with you. And on top of that, if you're not in a big metro area, are you going to have, if Austin doesn't have a clear option for solely dedicated autonomous rides, I mean, probably a majority of the people that are watching this don't have any options at all.
I think they're in Orlando, they're in California,
definitely,
but they're not in a ton of places, and they're not in Santiago.
Yep.
What else we have here? The restaurant credit, again, on the surface, $250, but it's again, I think it's $20 a month. Let me make sure. I don't want to put out any false information here, but obviously it takes me a second to find it. $20 dining credit within a dining program. And I know there's a dining program, a rewards program. That's kind of the same dining program that everybody uses, the airline dining program. So I think it's usable. $20 a month. I think this is good for, this is okay if you have one coupon book and you're interested in I got free $20. If that's, and I'm not making fun of people like that. If that's your game, which is fun, then that might be okay.
Yeah.
DoorDash is the biggest sin in the rewards game ever.
And the fact that they added that at the top of the marketing is kind of mind blowing to me. Why did you choose that as the first thing you're advertising?
Let's see here. $250. You also get a Dash Pass. So I do know people that value a Dash Pass, and that's cool.
Yep.
But the DoorDash is you will receive up to 3 $10 discounts each January. Wait a minute, I'm getting confused. It's 2 $10 discounts of orders over $50, not including fees and taxes. So if you order $50 worth of DoorDash before the fees, twice a month you can get $10 off of that. I don't know a lot of people that are going to use that. And if they are, I'd like to have a man-to-man talk with them.
I'd like to have their job.
Or you wouldn't want to have their belly.
Yeah, that's true.
Stop this madness. So that's like I said, if you told me you valued DoorDash at $120 a year, I'm not gonna argue with you. But I don't like that credit. Aura, I don't even want to talk about this because I'm gonna hurt people's feelings. But you can get, if you're an Aura person, you might be able to get $70 back out of that. So wearables, again, man. Travis, I lose subscribers every single live stream.
I accidentally laughed during I had like an instant reaction review to the Palladium card, and I laughed when I read the Aura credit, and I feel bad about that because I know a lot of people really appreciate it. Just not my thing.
I'm about to say something that's going to lose me at least one subscriber, and that's the wearables, guys. I get it. If a wearable motivates you to get in shape, do it, man. Whatever it is that gets you motivated to do that, that's awesome. Yep. But I want to tell you that go look at the fittest people in the world. They're not wearing some silly bracelet that says your heart's beating. You know, I get it. We all have our things, but that's probably really cool. $200 for somebody. You know?
We lost one. Ricky's gone.
Yeah. Ricky's like, I'm out. And the function health, I can't speak on. It sounds really cool, but I don't know what it is.
You know what's funny? I was looking into that. In the terms of service, there's some wording, and if anybody that's watching understands it, there's some wording about like lab testing, which to me, who I really do care about my health, if that means like a blood test, like an annual blood test, great. I would love that.
Yeah, I think they send you to like LabCorp or like one of your local phlebotomy type places to get blood or sometimes it's saliva, I guess, and give you like the workup, I think, which I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what else that reminds me of? You know, a lot of times people will get those tests and those workups for their hormone levels, especially us guys that are getting older. If you're over 30, man, I would suggest at least considering it if you feel at all less than your peak performance. And speaking of peak performance, I have a couple links in the description, guys. If you are not at your best in 2026, it's your fault. Science has given us the opportunity to fix these hormone levels, fix certain things that might not be optimal with us. You know, ED treatment right now, guys, is anonymous. Not anonymous for the companies, obviously, but no one's going to know if you have an issue there. You can go to these links. It's private, it's affordable, it's quick, it's easy. You can fix whatever's bothering you just like that. Also have links to semaglutide and GLP-1 treatments. There's no denying that those are working for people. And you don't have to admit it to me that maybe that's a thing for you, but at least think about it. If you're somebody who could lose a few pounds, it's not a bad option. That's my plug. Links in the description. They're not sponsoring this video, but I do get a piece for everybody that clicks through that. And some of you guys have already. And
did you see Anthony's comment?
No, not yet. Rob, and hey, now here's the thing. Anthony is a young viral man. I'm sure his hormones are at an optimal level and he's running on all cylinders. But here's the thing. Not everybody's like that all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, see? Carlos says, be your best. There's no excuse, guys. I'm not trying to get like into anybody's business, but think of it like this, Travis. Not you, but just somebody. If I asked you if you were at your peak performance, yeah, sure I am. Look at me. What if I asked your player 2?
That's the key right there. That's the key.
I'm going to say right now that if we're being completely honest, if you have a healthy relationship with your player 2, they might say, I wouldn't mind a step up. I wouldn't mind to, tune everything up on my guy. Just give it a thought.
Mm-hmm. Amen to
This
that.
car gave me ED.
That's what I was laughing at too.
That's good. I like it. I like it. Somebody said pro transition. Thank you. You can have that kid now. Yeah, and that's viral young man, baby. Viral. Okay. You have to cut me some slack on pronunciations because I'm an Appalachian man, and a lot of people don't even know what that is. But I'm Appalachian. That's my excuse. But John's Credit and Travel is his with a 2 spot. So John, check out my links, big guy. 166 watching, only 31 likes. Guys, slap that like button so maybe some other people can join here and get themselves some Travis White.
Yes, sir.
Where were we? Okay, so I think the functional health membership might be really cool. The Amazon One medical membership, man, I'm torn on that.
You know what's funny? I don't mean to interrupt you, but I have a story about this one. Before you trash it, I wanted to get my 2 cents in. This came with the HR platform that my previous employer offered. So I got it for free. And at the time, I didn't think it was super interesting, but it is really nice because you get one-on-one. Like you can meet with your doctor online. You can meet with them in person because there are like actual offices. You can just message them. You don't even need to meet with your doctor. You can just message them on the app. And this week, keep in mind, I've not had that platform and I've not been a paid subscriber in basically 7 months. I needed a prescription this week and I needed it really quickly. So I went on the app, just saw if they would give it to me. They honored I don't even pay them. And they gave me the prescription for the drug. So I actually think that's a decent credit. If you value that type of stuff.
Yeah. The only comment I would have on it is I think that could be tremendously valuable for some people. I think a lot of us adults already have that included in our health insurance.
Yeah.
And which is great. If you don't, then for sure that's a great. And Anthony kind of ran this last night, and they have scripts online for like bacterial vaginosis and stuff like that. So really weird examples, and I thought that was kind of that's what you picked to kind of advertise. But I guess whatever, man. It's a common problem you can get fixed with a televisit. Awesome. Mr. James Ragland. James, I was down in your hometown today, buddy. Yes, sir. First Capital. All right. So here's I'll in $6.95 for annual fee. Travis, I'll give you my take on it. The best I can give you in the first 5 minutes of the card coming out. I think if you're a cashback person and you're one of these targeted people that have the autonomous and you run the Robinhood stuff and you can put together any number of these credits, this card might be okay for you. And here's the thing. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say something that a lot of people don't say. The platinum metal flexi cards, that's a thing. I don't care what anybody says. That is a thing. If I'm a 29-year-old crypto bro and I'm making a good income and I'll do my cashback thing, I'm slamming that joker. Yes, man, 100%. I'm in a different season in life, but I'm not giving those guys any. You guys got it. If that's your thing, and if you can make these numbers work, and I think a lot of people can turn that 3,000. It's gonna look more like 750, maybe.
Agreed.
And if you like your relationship with Robinhood, you use it. I'm okay with it, man. I'm okay. But for you're deep in the points and miles game, this is a hard pass. This is not even a consideration.
At least for my personal wallet, there's nothing that is not points and miles. But if I was cashback, just speaking at it from that angle, I think Matt Clausen actually nailed it earlier today. He was talking about how basically like this is cloaked luxury. And it's just a couple things. Like you have a luxury credit card, it costs $700, and you don't get guests into Priority Pass. That's crazy to me. And then on top of that, whenever you talk about multipliers, you're getting 5x on dining and nothing else. And the thing that breaks this card for me is the fact that, if you're cashback, you're looking for the highest multipliers possible in as many categories as you can.
And no fees.
You can't pair this up with the gold card. So
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I'm a fan. I'm a hybrid guy. I've always said one day I'm going to be a cash back guy. As my income rises, the closer I get to cash back, because
Mhm.
I feel like at some point in my life I can get to a point where the min max game might not be as worth it, and I'll be a cash back. This won't go on my cash back setup.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. I agree. I think the only thing that makes it unique is that 5% back on dining. And of course, there are cards that can sort of do that, like the custom cash, and you could argue those rotating category cards, but they're
Right.
limited. So that aspect is unique. But is it worth keeping up with all of these credits? I would argue no.
Yeah,
So,
I think it is if you fit that box. And if you do fit that box, I'm not hating on you.
oh, absolutely not. Yeah.
Do your thing. If I was I grew up in a different time, but I would love to be. No, I don't want to be, but it, I have nothing against the 27, 28-year-old crypto bro who's got a nice car. That's cool, man.
Mhm.
I like it. PayPal debit card to get you 5%. What's it called? The Redstone Federal Credit Union. It's geofence, but it's 5% at dining. City Custom Cash, 5% dining. Like you said, the Flex and the Discover are going to chime in there. I think you can do that for free.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
So
Totally agreed.
So that's we kind of have a similar take. This is going to be okay for some people. It's when they first announced it and the way they presented it and wrapped it up in a bow, I was like, let me get my invitation, boys. I'm getting this Joker.
And the other thing that goes to my head is like, again, you going back to the priority pass thing. That implies that you're kind of a solo traveler. Nothing wrong with that. Love that. I'm a solo traveler a lot. But then you compare that to like the Venture X. Like this, what we're looking at on screen is a headache. The Venture X it's great for a solo traveler. You don't just get priority pass, you get Capital One lounges. And on top of that, you get the one credit. It's just like one and done. You can call it a day for that year. So yeah.
I constantly find it difficult to compare the Venture X to really any card.
Yeah.
I think different. How has that card stayed in a league of its own for so long?
Yeah.
With what I consider minor tweaks. It's still a monster card. I downgraded mine. So
I can't get approved. So
Just Gaming. Yeah, Redstone got nerfed, but it's still 5% cash back on dining. They didn't rotate, you get to pick, but the first month was dining, so it could always be dining. Let's see. Don Barry says I was excited about the platinum until I read the fine print. Hey, you're in the same ballpark as us, man. Stick with Amex and the Robinhood Gold. Listen, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you could just pair that Amex Platinum with the Robinhood Gold, and that's your duo, and you're going to kill the game just fine.
Totally agree. I totally agree. I do think that like a lot of people were commenting on my video, oh man, I can't get approved. And I do think that is, I mean, I would be interested to see what the audience thinks, but my theory is that Robinhood is still trying to figure out how to make this arm of their business, the credit card arm, profitable. Therefore, they're trying to limit the pool and changing the business as they go to make sure that they can figure out how to make it profitable before kind of sending it out to the masses. I wonder with this card, they're trying to take the Amex model. I'm going to guess that this is their way of trying to make it profitable. They're banking on breakage.
Yeah, and that this card breaks everything. They're going to make. I also think that maybe they're losing too much on the gold card.
I agree. I agree.
Move some people over and even that out, and that gold card. Even for non-cash back folks, Robinhood Gold card with a high limit is not a bad tool in your wallet.
Mm-hmm.
I just forgot. Okay, so I did have some really not really personal, but I did have some personal questions for you tonight, Travis. And I know I heard you mention on your channel that you're getting close or somewhat close to a trip to China. And dude, I don't know that much about China. I know enough to where it's extremely intriguing and interesting to me. So can you tell us anything about that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So a little bit about my background. I am an avid traveler. I have been traveling. This is by far the most difficult trip I have ever planned. Everything is different. Even simple things that you kind of take for granted whenever you're planning a trip, it's not that easy. A really good example. Recently, I was trying to figure out where I needed to book a hotel, which naturally you would just Google where to book a hotel in Dali, China, and the answer would pop up. And it did. I was told, oh, do it in the Old Town. But Old Town doesn't show up on Google Maps. It's hard to figure out where things are. The VPNs are different. The payment systems are different. It's been a challenging trip, but just high level overview. Used American Airlines to get to and from. We're flying economy, so everybody in the comments can laugh at me. I am very much of an economy traveler, but
we're not going to laugh, man. We're going to pity you. And
I know. They're stowing us away with the luggage. I'm lucky to have the wife that I have. We're flying into Shanghai, and then we're departing from Beijing. And oh, by the way, before everybody in the audience. Before I even start on this, I would be interested, because I know that a lot of y'all are probably big travelers. What are some lessons that you've learned whenever you've traveled, that whenever you're talking to somebody who's new to the game, who does not travel a ton, who has not been outside of the country, what are some of the lessons that you bring up? And the reason that I bring that up is a couple of the lessons that I've learned is, number one, you don't want to just go to the big cities. It is a completely different cultural experience when you do that. And then two, a lot of people tend to think that they have more time than they actually do on a trip, which results in you staying in one place for one day and then moving on. And you'll notice that the agenda is kind of built out that way. We fly into Shanghai. We then move on to Nanjing. If anybody recognizes that name, if you're a history buff, if you don't know, China suffered some of the highest losses of any country in the world during World War II. And that was where one of the many, terrible things happened in that city, and they've got a memorial and a museum dedicated to that I wanted to see. From there, we're going to go to a place called Lijing, Lijing. Beautiful. It's like an ancient Chinese town. Going to travel around there. We're going to be based out of a town called Shashi. Then we're going to take a train. It's going to be a 10-hour high-speed train ride to a city called, it's kind of the middle of nowhere, place called Guilin, Guilin. If you're going to Google anything that I just mentioned, it should be that one. It's on the back of one of the Chinese notes, even though it's a cashless society. It's on the back of one of those. Beautiful.
You should know that Anthony Venture speaks Mandarin.
You know what's so? Him and I were actually talking recently, and he told me, "Oh, you pronounced Shanghai correctly. Did you study the language?" And I mentioned, I said, "Oh, no, I did not. I should have asked."
Why would I?
I did not know that. That's super cool. Well, whenever I'm stuck and can't communicate with anybody, I'll call him.
What's the other one? Mandarin, and what's the other one? The other.
I'm not familiar with any.
The other Chinese language, not Mandarin, but oh man, is it the one they speak in Taipei? Maybe. Somebody's going to know.
Oh, well, there are two. There's like two different. There's like traditional, the traditional written language, and then there's like simplified. Is that what you're thinking of?
Cantonese. Oh. Johnny Ma, who is part of the community, speaks Cantonese.
Oh, that's
so between those two guys, they got you covered.
Man, that's cool. That's awesome. But yeah, we're gonna get to Guilin. If you're gonna Google anything, you'll gotta look at some photos. It's beautiful. And then from there, we're going to fly to Beijing and then depart from there. My inside of the country flights, there's only two of them. One I booked with, the rewards master is going to have to forgive me. I booked with Delta points. I had some left over. So terrible cent per point redemption, but it was actually, ironically enough, the best cent per point option that was available. And the second one I booked with, Air Canada. And then a bunch of our hotels are via the credits that come with the Venture X, Palladium,
good.
Other stuff. So super cool stuff.
Now, the one question I have is you got a lot of transit in there. And I'm not at all interested in getting to any kind of political commentary here. And that goes to anybody. Do you have any apprehensions, any particular boxes you did to check personally to travel to China? Obviously, it's a much different place.
It is totally different. I mean, I have an entire, you know how on the iPhone you can create like folders. I have an entire folder dedicated to apps that I had to download specifically for my trip to China. And anyone who has been is going to know what I'm talking about. Oh, people are naming.
Yeah.
Guizhou, is that how you spell that or say that? Well, I'm getting distracted. The visa process of being an American or being from the United States and going to China is so complicated. And being from Texas, that you have to go into a Chinese embassy to get approved for your Chinese visa. There used to be one in Houston. There is no longer one in Houston. And now the only one that serves Texas is DC, meaning you have to hire somebody to go in and get it for you. So typically the average price for two people to get their visas, it's going to be $800. I was able to find a guy who hooked me up. It was $500 for two people. But yeah, it is.
You mean Washington, D.C.?
Yeah.
Okay. So wow.
You either have to fly there yourself, walk it in, or you pay like a third party to do it for you. Okay. And it's done, but man, it's a challenging country to travel. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I know the money's a difficult chore, but I guess I know, how do I say this? Sometimes I do care about how I say things, but
me too.
Obviously they're not our country's friendliest ally. Do you have any type of apprehension of going there and maybe, and I'm not saying getting shook down. I'm just saying, you have any apprehension of like, well, just let me flip this around to Russia.
Mm-hmm.
As a military veteran, I would not be comfortable going to Russia, even though I would love to. And it's because there's this small percentage of treatment that I'm going to get where they might use me to throw me in a cell. And do you have any, or am I just being silly when it comes to China?
No, if I'm being totally honest with you, I have, throughout my travels, I've been to a few countries where that kind of went through my head. And my experience has been every time that I've been hesitant of, are these people are going to be friendly about me being from the US, I've never experienced any ill will. Don't get me wrong. There's been like the stray comment or two. Like I remember in India, actually, ironically enough, I got a lot of comments of me being from the US and they were like, again, not trying to bring up any politics, but asking me about the president and everything like that. But no, I'm not too worried. I think that as long as I keep a smile on my face, I'm friendly, I'm trying to communicate with them. I'm gonna have to use a translating app. I'm not too worried. But you never know. There's always time for a first.
Yeah, encrypted. I'm assuming he's speaking from experience. He's been to Russia as a military veteran. No mistreatment. Now, here's the other thing. I totally not disputing anything you're saying, Cryptid, but there are Latin American countries or some other countries in Europe that if you arrive there with Russia stamped on your passport, you go to another room. You may not, Ukraine or Russia, if you've been there recently and that's stamped on your passport, you require additional information if you can even get into the country. So that's kind of what I'm not really thinking that Gestapo is going to stop me and try to throw me in the back of a car. Well, although there's some Russians that can do that.
There's if the people in the audience, if you like watching people who kind of go off the beaten path places, there's a YouTuber called Mike OK, and he had multiple scenarios in China where he was clearly being kind of watched to some extent, mm-hmm. And his approach is just being as forward as humanly possible. He will literally walk up to the cop or whoever it is that's following him, and he just asks for directions or something dumb like, "I'm looking for ice cream. Where can I go find that?" Just to kind of diffuse the situation. And I think if anything like that happens, I'm just going to go up and shake a hand.
What about the opposite? When you see him, maybe just take off running down an alley.
Yeah, I know. And the other thing that actually, it's funny that you had brought up, like, do I have any apprehension? I went to Taiwan, actually, I think it was like, 7 months ago. And it was going through my head of like, if I go to Taiwan, will that hurt my chances of going to China? And based on all the research, no problems. So,
see, Cryptid, this is interesting you say that. Traveling in Russia, so long as you don't have any pro-Ukrainian content on your phone, it's safe. Here's where we got off track. What other country is worried about what's on my phone? Like, when does this become an issue? Like that makes me a little apprehensive. And this is another reason. And again, we're just doing risk assessments here. People have been imprisoned upon entry in Russia, accused of being spies. This is not my opinions. This is just what has happened. and they have a really difficult time getting out of there. Now, take that as you want. Maybe they are spies. I wouldn't know. But I don't want to be, I'm not exactly fighting age military man anymore. So that's why I think I might be okay. But I would be really at 25, 30 years old. That's a factor, I'll say. I'm not saying I would not go because of it, but that's a factor, I think. China, kind of the same thing.
Oh man, he mentioned Chino. I totally agree with you. Shenzhen was on my short list, but as I had mentioned, that's kind of why I asked about learning lessons that you kind of mentioned whenever you're talking with people who are new to the travel game. Just didn't want to force in another location, even though Shenzhen is super cool. If y'all have not looked into like the technology, the way that life runs there, it's really fascinating. But to Uncle Luke's point, everything is just, you're on camera all the time, 24/7. But definitely want to go visit.
Yeah, Chino says they have a district just for foreigners. Yeah, so great information, guys. And here's, like I told you, Travis, this audience is the most knowledgeable.
I love that.
Biggest brained, most experienced audience in the YouTube world. I believe that. We don't have a bunch of we got a lot of big league people in here.
Yeah.
Again,
yeah.
I just held back of insulting.
I am into the credit card game too, so that I can talk about travel. That is why I'm in it. So I love that.
That's good. It would have to be a high-end guided tour for me to feel safe visiting Russia. See, and here's, we have two different. Just like I thought there would be some people with maybe not the same expectations of traveling through Russia. It's a great topic, and it's also a great topic with guys like this that walk the walk.
To this day, my brother's like crown jewel trip is to visit Russia and us going along the Siberian Railway. To this day, I want to do that.
Did not see this earlier. Polo hit us with a 5 spot. Polo, 100%. Thank you, sir. And Polo hit us with 5 channel memberships. Polo,
nice.
You are big league. I sorry I didn't see that earlier, but you know we're cooking here, as you kids say. I think that's what that means.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're cooking and talking and all that good stuff. But I do appreciate you. Thank you. So next question. What's your current setup and strategy for just your general earning? Are you a guy that's got a new card every month, or?
It's so funny that you say that. So again, I was talking with Anthony Venture recently, and he has a completely different strategy than I do. And frankly, his strategy is the winning one. If you want points fast, churning is the way to go. Despite me knowing that, my strategy, I try to basically wring out every drop of value from my spend as humanly possible. I'm not much of a churner, and I don't have any specific reason for that. Maybe it's just that I don't want to keep up with it. I don't really know why, but as a result, I am like obsessed with trying to make sure I can get as much value from my spend as possible. Therefore, number one, and ironically enough, I've quoted you many times, Luke, but I've never been with you. I love your sentiment about just give me the points.
Yeah.
I love that, because at the end of the day, and I've said it on my channel 1,000 times, all of these ecosystems, including Wells Fargo, have partners that I can use, that I can get value from. I just give me the points. So first of all, I'm looking for high multipliers, and then 2, then comes points that I consider high value. And I try to prioritize built points and city points. And as of right now, as long as I'm not swimming in built cash, that Palladium card has drastically simplified my setup. It's basically the Palladium card and then 4 custom cash cards. Pat, whenever I'm swimming in built cash, if I don't know what to do with it all, things get a lot more complicated, but that's a story for another time.
This is a great example of this audience, man. We're giving you the floor to talk about a China trip that's super interesting. And lo and behold, Teresa just got back. So it's like,
no way.
Let's see. Yeah.
I went to Shenzhen and Beijing, super safe, very respectful. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So,
and Teresa, if you don't mind me asking, I have heard, I cannot believe I'm going to say this on stream, but I have heard that I don't typically travel to a country and go to a mall, but I have heard that shopping, that going to malls is like part of the culture. So I'm actually planning on going to a mall, even though I am not a shopper. Is that is that stereotype true? Is that part of what like daily life? I'd be interested to hear from you.
I think that's stereotype. I've heard that the luxury brands, the a lot of the Asian countries really like the luxury brands, and I would almost say that in America it's not it's a very small subset.
I agree.
I would
Yeah.
almost say that the group that are anti luxury brands is bigger than the luxury. Like personally, if I see a guy with a clothes that have LVs all over it, I it does not have the same effect on me as it has with somebody. I'm sitting there thinking, whatever, or the Gucci,
no, me too.
Gucci.
And I've heard that like here in the United States, you don't typically think of like I'm going to get a local meal at my mall. And I've heard that in China it can be kind of the opposite. Like you can get really good quality food. A lot of people will go to the mall to eat. But I don't know if that's true. This is why China is so fascinating. It's because so much of it is an unknown.
Well, I can tell you that I have two experiences of malls in foreign countries. One is in Dubai. They have the giant mall. It was really cool to go there. But what I liked more than that was the Plaza Norte in Peru, Lima, Peru. And it was not the same thing at all. Like every other booth was a massage booth. Just like a back massage. And I'm thinking, what do these guys' wives go buy brooms and cleaning supplies and they get back massages or something? So it was super cool to experience that. I did not get a back massage in Lima, but
yeah, I will say
South
American malls are totally different. Like I was in one of the malls in when I was in Medellin. By the way, one of the most underrated countries on earth. I think Luke has already been. Most underrated countries on earth is Colombia.
No, not been.
Oh, you've not been?
No, me and Yuri are not allowed. Yuri's been, but that's a creator meetup inside joke. So once you go to a couple, you'll
I think I'm following you. I won't dig in too much on the live. We'll save it for after. But I will say Colombia is just amazing. Like all of the stereotypes that people will naturally bring up when you bring up Colombia. Just be smart. Don't be dumb. Like if you don't be dumb, you'll be okay.
I always tell people, you get caught up if you're looking for two different things, or two, drugs and dirty women. If you're not looking for drugs and dirty women, you're probably safe anywhere in the world.
Okay, Teresa responded. Malls are really common, probably next to your hotel. Good to know. Good to know.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, here we go. They won't see. Brady says Colombia will not let Yuri back in. The gross the gross domestic national product, whatever, it was affected by Yuri being there for a few days. The economy got better in the few days Yuri was there. There you go. Malls are good. That's a good thing. Temperature control.
Streets. Yeah. That's what I've heard about, like how advanced things are. Yeah, I'm really excited. Just hoping that both WeChat and Alipay work correctly. From what I can tell, if they don't work correctly, you're in some hot water.
All right. This Yuri stimulated. Batista says Yuri stimulated the economy. Yuri's not on here. I wonder if Yuri must be traveling. He must be in the air somewhere, or he was called back to service. So, okay, guys. So to sum things up, if you just got around here, we introduced Mr. Travis White here. He has a YouTube channel. He walks the walk. He does the thing, and he does it as an economy traveler, which, listen, I do. Part of my shtick is to make fun of economy travel and, the poor and things like that. It's not exactly a real feeling. If I was my younger self, I would be killing this game in economy travel. I would. If I was in my 20s when I was tough and could sleep without a machine, I would be doing it.
I cannot tell you how many thousands of dollars I would have saved if I had been deeper into the credit card game earlier on. It would have changed the game for sure.
I would love. I see these deals in economy, and man, there's two things. One, I'm old, I have sleep apnea. I'm at the season of life where I value the comfort on these difficult days more than I used to. And I also spoiled my wife. So
Mm-hmm.
my wife is not about to jump on an overnight trip to Europe in economy. She won't do it.
And
Detour Travels, 5 spot. Okay, he's got some
oh, your man.
Medellin. Country was amazing. Thank you so much, Detour Travels. We love to hear about your guys' experience for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Polo says once you go first, you can't go back, man.
It truly, Colombia is one of those countries where I've already been twice. Once was to Medellin, a couple other places. The other time was to Bogota. Bogota's, I liked Bogota. Wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my favorite if you compare it to Medellin. If y'all are going to go to Medellin. There's a lot of really nice neighborhoods out there. You'll love it. There's a lot of good day trips from that city. Can't recommend it enough.
Have you been to Mexico City?
Yes, I have.
We've been tossing around the idea of doing a meetup there. It seems like a pretty easy place to get to, but it has that exotic thing, and it has plenty of stuff to do. I imagine. I've not been there, so
there's plenty of stuff to do. Great food. The only thing is, oh my gosh, when I was there, TMI to everybody that's watching. Hopefully, none of y'all are eating dinner. I got food poisoning. I about died. The lesson is be very, very careful. And the funny thing is, I am careful because I've had food poisoning on 3 different continents now.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I needed 3 IV bags because I was so dehydrated.
That sucks. And I'm always very cautious with that because that can, that's obviously that can ruin a trip. Hey, Polo, the closest I've ever been to flying private is one of those sea helicopters in the Navy. That's not exactly private, but I feel like it has its own flex over private. No, I've never flown private. Don't plan on it. I don't want to sound negative, but I don't think I'm going to be shooting that far into the financial game to where I'm flying private. Now, maybe one of those, maybe there's an option to get one of those semi-private deals. I know Sebi used to talk about doing the San Fran to LA or LA to Vegas on one of those semi-private deals. That might be cool.
You can use, isn't there like a private jet credit on one of the United cards?
Yeah. There's one on United. There used to be one on, I think there's one on the black card.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Colt couldn't agree more. He said, I always say, as long as you're not running around being disrespectful a-hole and you just use common sense, trouble normally doesn't find you. Couldn't agree more.
That's a very optimistic view of some of these places because like we talked about New Orleans before we went online, and New Orleans, if you guys didn't know, is one of my favorite. It's my favorite city in the world. However, it's also a place where the predators don't hide. And if you've been around enough and you've been, if you led a life that illuminates that type of activity and that kind of behavior, they're everywhere. They don't hide. They don't have to. So I do think there are places that have people that are predators. So, but you're not wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah.
Ricky says Mexico City would be amazing. I agree, man. One day we'll do a private to a meetup. You'd be a stud. You'd be awesome. They sell an easy remedy for okay. They sell a remedy for that, and then I'm not sure what he's talking about. But how much?
I know
what can I get? 100?
They have a shot that they can give you to keep you from throwing up. I had to get that. Yeah,
I like
Won't
that.
give y'all any more detail on that.
Cade Lopez here's with a 5 spot. First redemption. Okay, I love this. Listen, I love these comments. Cade hit his first credit card redemption. Got a downtown DoubleTree in Charlotte for 10,000 points in the Chase portal. Guys, that's where it starts. Congratulations to you.
Congratulations, man.
That's so cool. Travis, can you remember your first redemption?
Yes, I can. It was everybody that follows the channel is going to laugh that it was a Choice hotel. I used Choice 1 to 2 for a hotel. We were going to Costa Rica, and there was is it San Jose? I think San Jose is the main city. We needed to kind of transit through the city, and it was a Choice hotel. And I looked up, and I think it was like 3.5 cents per point. And I looked up and I'm like, holy, this is the real deal. Like, and on top of that, it was a nice hotel too. I mean, it was not something that you go in, you scoff at it. So yeah.
I always tell people my first, I don't know if I remember my first one, but I remember my first meaningful redemption. The first redemption that I realized what I could do for other people.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 grown stepkids,
Mm-hmm.
and this was so many years ago. I want to say 2 of them were still at home. But I took, and you guys that are older and have older kids, it's not often you can get everybody together, right? So, and we were brand new in traveling game, and I took my son, my wife, her other 3 grown kids, all to Miami for Thanksgiving. And we ate at a Cuban restaurant for Thanksgiving, and it was like it was during COVID. So it was when Florida was the open thing. And
Yeah.
I want to say 15,000 sky miles round trip each. And it was that's my favorite redemption and my first real meaningful one, when you realize I can go do cool shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But
exactly it, yeah.
I can also give these people, something to really remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And something as basic as a South Florida trip for 3 days, dude. You made it. You made it in life when you could just do that.
Like my setup is very different than I feel like most credit card YouTubers, because it's very low on annual fees. And I always like kind of mentally compare, how much my save. I record all of my redemptions. I record what was my cent per point value, and then how much value did I get from it. And I did that way before I started the YouTube channel, just because I was trying to track, like, what is my investment? What is my return? And once you're looking up and you're like, oh my, if I was going to do this with cash, this game is game changing. Yeah.
I don't do that because I would probably start crying when I realized how much cash back I forewent for all those points. I would probably start crying and start selling stuff.
For me, and I totally get it. Everybody in the audience, I totally get it. If you do not care about cents per point, for me personally, I deeply care about cents per point, just because I know logically, if I wasn't traveling, I could cash out, meaning I need to, in order to justify this, I need to be making sure that I'm getting redemptions that are much more valuable than if I had just gotten cash.
I can take it one step further, man, and I'm going to be completely unapologetic about this. The higher cent per point I get, the better I'm doing relative to the issuers and everybody else in the game. I don't like when people say it doesn't matter. I say 2 things: either you make a lot of money and it doesn't matter, or you don't know how to do it. And most of the time it's they don't know how to do it. And cool. Because I've seen guys who don't know how to do it. I've been in this long enough to hear them a year later, 18 months later, telling us about their redemptions that are crazy. So they learn it. And I do understand that if I fly, if I fly to Amsterdam on Virgin Atlantic on some crazy deal, and it's 12, 13 cents per point, I realize that's not a real number. I do realize that. I calculated that on a day where the cash price was abnormally stupid high. I get that. I don't care. But one thing I will fight back 100% of the time is this philosophy. That flight, that product, that travel, that stay is only worth what you would pay for it. I completely rebuke that, like a Roman Catholic cardinal or something. No. The price is the price is the price. If I walk into the furniture store and say, this is a really swell leather couch, leather sectional, but you know what, guy, I would only probably pay $350 for that. They're going to throw me out.
Yep.
So why are you changing it for travel redemptions?
Yeah, I totally agree. Actually, it's funny that you say that. Again, ironically enough, it was a choice redemption. I was booking, me and my wife wanted a getaway. We went to New York and wanted a free hotel and clearly inflated prices. But the cent per point value was like 9 cents per point on that hotel. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I realize I'm cheating a little bit on that. But if we were to go on that same weekend and I paid cash, it's a legitimate redemption. But yeah, totally agree.
I think the issue with that is we do have players in this game that don't pay cash. We have players in this game that if they can't redeem it for a point, they don't get to go. And I respect that.
Yeah,
I totally respect that. However, I pay a lot of money to do the stuff I do.
same.
It's almost an irresponsible amount of money, but I justify it because I use it as a parenting tool. So, and every mental health expert I talk to really pumps into my brain memory capital.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could have a bunch of money, but when you flip through your old Instagram, what does it do for you? And for me, I go, I still can't believe we did that.
I cannot agree with that more. I could buy a really expensive car, spend an extra $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on a nicer car. Or do I want like years worth of great memories with my wife? Maybe like, oh yeah, do you remember when we did this in the Philippines? Do you remember when we talked to that guy in Italy? It's a better investment, in my opinion.
Totally. Now, Ricky is a guy who you gotta listen. You have to listen to Ricky. Ricky, put it like this. I'll give you a hint on how high level Ricky is. Ricky flies all over the world to win Rubik's Cube competitions. So that's what we're talking about. This guy's got so he says does come to a point where if you're earning a ton of points, cent per point doesn't. That's what I meant by you're wealthy enough. It doesn't matter. And you're right. If you're a YouTube channel that's getting so many referrals, or you found a way to generate spend in a way to where it doesn't matter, I totally get that.
Totally. If I've got unlimited points, miles, I would totally agree with you. To me, wouldn't matter.
Yeah,
totally agree.
And we're talking about pretty big extreme. And Ricky, this is another thing. It's easier for you to get into that stratosphere. I need 3 tickets. So I'm never going to have so many points. It doesn't matter. I need that 60K aeroplan to Frankfurt. I need 3 of those. I need 3 more to get back. So it's a little bit different.
And I will say that is a lot more challenging to find those redemptions. 100%. 100%. By the way, Chino asked, could you do a video on the Cathay Pacific card? I actually didn't even know that was a thing.
I've seen it. I want to get back to doing some more evergreen content like card reviews. I think I've gotten off the deep end and doing too much opinion stuff. And I think I need to kind of get back to the credit card YouTube roots of objectively reviewing cards for people that they can view that kind of stuff long term.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe. But I'm also somebody who I have a full-time job, and I really only do the videos I like. I'm not a credit card YouTuber. I'm just a dude.
Yep. No, I totally hear you there.
Okay. Are you still trying? Yes. Trying is the optimal word there. Yes. I would love to have no applications for 6, 7, 8 months and then try to get some city cards. Now I'm a very decisive person in my real life, but in the credit card game, I flip-flop all the time. And it's just because there's no bad option for me. And this is what I'm learning. Like my plan this year was to not apply for a single card until June or July and try to get some city cards. Now, then my brain starts doing the gymnastics to try to convince me otherwise. And I have the City Premier and the City Custom Cash. What else do I need from City?
That's true. In my opinion, another custom cash. But
right, yeah. But it's just like the City Strata Elite will not generate me more points.
I agree.
Just that 6X on City, which is hokey but for $500 or whatever, it's not a better card for me. Like you said, just give me the points. Yeah. And like just to go back to when you said, like, if anybody's not understanding what I mean by that is, here's the deal. Just give me the points so I could do the thing. If I want a donut, I can go buy a donut. If I want to eat at a fancy restaurant that I probably don't want to go to anyway, I can go buy that. So every single credit, like Lululemon credit, I'm not knocking it. I love it. I can go buy those things. I just want the points, and everything else is kind of a distraction because it turns out like getting a free donut or getting a free DoorDash won't put those pictures in my phone.
I
This guy.
totally agree.
This
Oh,
guy. It won't do it.
Yep. I know.
Like,
I totally agree with you.
it's
And
almost a distraction.
I like a credit card setup, and I know that a lot of people have a different setup than me, but I like my setup to be very simplistic. If there are credits, they need to be, for me, relatively easy. I don't want to be tracking anything monthly. That's just not me. But I understand that a lot of people do.
Ricky, we're not going to have Carlos on. He's actually really sad. But I told him when I have a guest, it's easier just to stick with the guest. So next week, questions for Carlos. Carlos is my 9-year-old. We usually do a segment where he gets 4 or 5 questions, and he wants to be. He wants to be a YouTuber, so it gets him kind of some experience, and I think some guys get a kick out of it. We do have a couple questions for you. Oh, where are you both? What happened?
You find more value on certain cards having never lived in a city. You know what's okay? I mean, I don't, Luke, I don't know if you're comfortable with answering that stuff. I'm from Austin. And as far as like, do I find any like more value being from a certain city or living in a certain city? I just simply put, it just feels like in this game, being in a metropolitan area makes it much easier to take advantage of certain credits than if you're living in a more rural area. And I know that that's unfair, but I think it's just the truth. And like, whenever you're talking about like these dining programs, it's just easier when you have I have 3 built dining restaurants on my street. It's just easy.
Yeah, I want to say I live just outside Columbus, Ohio, which I think is very similar to the size of Austin. However, I'm more. I live in what used to be a farming village in a suburban location. So I almost have the best of both worlds. Where I live is not like that, not like what you say. But where I work and where I do a lot of my business is easier for those things. Like let's take Resi, for example. I don't have any Resi restaurants in my farming village. So, if we were to do any type of shopping or like, for instance, we did a staycation for Valentine's Day. We went to the Hilton next to the shopping center and had dinner and stuff. I can go use those credits, no problem. So it's kind of, for me, it's a little bit, it really is. Can I use them? Yeah. Do I want to? Not really.
Yep.
So, and that just goes back to the same thing. I do like the Resi credits because it forces me to go outside my comfort zone and maybe try a new restaurant.
Yeah.
However, I can just go buy that food. I don't need a credit. So I am
what they call a penny pincher. And as a result, I love taking advantage. If I have a credit, I want to take advantage of it. And speaking of, I'm really hoping that, I don't know how many built haters or built fans there are out there, but with the Palladium, you get that $25 off of mobile dining restaurants. But the problem is there are almost none out there right now. But I was actually at a restaurant recently, and I was talking to them about Built because I'm a nerd like that. And they said that they were coming online with mobile ordering next month. And that just so happened to be one, meaning I'm hoping that more of those will be coming out here pretty soon. That way people can take advantage of what I view as locking in like a 4X cashback option.
Yeah. For me, it's the same. There's a couple places that I do. Like, I like Mexican food. Come on, man. Who doesn't like Mexican food? So there's a couple Mexican restaurants that I can go to and use that Built cash if I want to. And it's for me, it's something I'll do at the end of the year if I have a surplus of Built cash. I'm not worried about doing it right now. And like you said, the Built haters, I'm not trying to pump up Built, but listen to what I just said. I'll use that Built cash at the end of the year if I want to. You can't do that on any of these coupon books. You can't say, hey, I'll use this Dunkin' Donuts at the end of the year. No, you lost it. Now, you obviously with Dunkin', you can load the app or whatever, but the Built cash is much shit as it's taken. It's a little bit flexible. It's
in my opinion, it's really flexible. I made a flight redemption actually for this weekend to visit a buddy in Little Rock, and I plan on using the $10 Lyft credit to the airport. I'm locking in 4% cash back on something that I would have otherwise I would have spent that money. So,
and I'm going to my anniversary is Patrick's Day. And Chicago has a big Patrick's Day celebration, so that's where my wife gets to go, right? And we're going to have to take a Lyft or an Uber, to and from the airport. So that's an easy way to cash in. It is, and like I said, I just want one coupon book. Personally, I can handle more, but I want to get down to just one. But it's that built Palladium. I'm high on it. I don't want to talk about too much tonight because I know people are tired of it, but I am high on it. Freddie says he missed the conversation earlier. New to the credit game, is the Venture X still a really good card for beginner travels? Yeah, I think you're not going to get any argument here from us, man. I think it's the only knock I would give you with the Venture X and the the Capital One ecosystem is lack of a strong hotel partner. I'm not even going to say domestic airline because I think you could do just fine in the portal. Travel Eraser, I think that's fine. You do not have a strong hotel partner. But you have hotel partners.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think I had two knocks on it. Number one, to Luke's point, I think that the points, you have to be a little bit, I'm not going to say you have to be sophisticated, but I think that you kind of have to know your way around the transfer partner game to get value from the Capital One ecosystem. And it really frustrates me that they're releasing so many they're adding partners that are good, but the ratios are terrible. That drives me crazy. And the other thing is, but overall, let me be very clear. I think the Venture X, the answer is yes. It's a very good card. It doesn't come with guest access, meaning if you're a solo traveler, absolutely great card. If you're wanting to travel with a +1 or anybody else, all of a sudden, you might want to start looking around in that scenario.
I agree. Yeah. Here's something. Oh shoot, wrong one. Well, Travis liked your Lufthansa video, and I think that's a really enlightening video.
Good. Yeah, I will say really interesting redemption.
And Mike Newland is also an Austin.
Hey man, we got to meet up sometime.
Yeah, I don't know why Spencer's a big name in the credit card game. He needs to do a local meetup. There's enough of you guys.
There's a lot of our people here.
He never gets tiring talking about Palladium. A lot of people feel that way. A lot of people disagree with you. Guys, we're almost at 8:30, so we're going to cut this off in about 2 or 3 minutes. I do want to give everybody a chance to shoot out a question, and I'll let you know that we'll probably have Travis on the channel again if he wants to. I think this went really well, and we have enough like-mindedness and enough, overlap, but still enough we can argue about at some point. I'm pretty
100%, 100%.
And that's kind of my favorite thing to do on the internet. If I wasn't a YouTuber, I would be a super troll.
What's funny is that sorry, didn't mean to derail the conversation. I know that we're wrapping up. Me and Rewards Master are going to be meeting up at some point to talk about our own travels, and it's funny because he is almost exclusively business. I'm almost exclusively economy, and we're going to be essentially kind of playing off of each other of like the benefits and downsides of both sides.
I think it's a super strength to be able to travel economy. Because here's the thing. I don't care what Rewards Master tells you. We're not traveling business class because it's more fun. We're traveling business class because economy hurts us.
Yeah, that's not true. Despite what I look like, I actually work out all the time. I did. Oh my God. No one judged me. I did CrossFit for a little bit, and of course.
And you had to tell us. You had to tell us.
I injured my back, and now.
Shocking.
Unfortunately, economy hurts me a little bit now, but yeah.
Yeah, I economy is there's nothing wrong with economy. It's just it's for me it's not as much physically, but how do I say this without making myself sound crazy? Forget the seat. Let me on the plane before all the goddamn animals get on there.
Yes.
I don't want to sit next to the chicken coop and the goat and the dude with his speakerphone on as high as he can, who's never flown before. Give me some peace. Give me up front and get.
Oh my gosh, I have a horror story. Ironically enough, I've never had any like really, really bad experiences other than like crying babies on my international flights. But I was flying domestically for work, and there was a guy who there was a dog in the middle seat. This seat mate was in the far window side. I was on the aisle. His dog peed, and it was all over my pleated pants. And I was trying to voice to him that there was urine all over my leg, and he would not admit that that was what was going on. I mean, with economy, you got to take what you can get. So, is what it is.
I don't have a clue how to deal with that. I do. I don't have a public view on how to deal with that.
It was yeah.
Here's a question real quick, and I think we're going to wrap up, guys, but it's a good question. Does Amex claw back a bonus on a business checking account if it was closed prior to a year? I don't know the technical terms and conditions there, but I have to ask you, why?
Yeah.
Does it cost you anything? Why are you closing it before a year?
I don't know the answer to that, but I agree.
Most of them are 6 months. Most of them are 6 months that I've seen the bonuses for. I don't know this exact bonus, but most of the terms are 6 months, or there's no time at all. You could just close it after you get the bonus. But I have to ask, is there a problem? They don't charge any fees. There's no minimums.
Yeah.
Don't put yourself out there, bro.
I agree. I guess my answer is like, just don't risk it unless there's like some reason that we're just not aware of, that like some context that we're not aware of. Just keep it.
The Ratatar. My kid is a year and a half. Should I go? Listen, your kid is still a lap infant under 2. They don't require a ticket. Treat yourself. Get in business class and hold that baby. My opinion.
Yeah, especially if a kid. I might be reconsidering business class if I have a 1.5-year-old with me.
And for further questions like that, Ratatar, the part that says should I go business class is always yes. Always yes.
We'll debate over it later.
Yeah. All right, guys, we are going to get off here. It's after 8:30. Travis, thank you so much for coming onto the channel, and I know these guys appreciate it. We got some good information. Like I said, this is the Grown Folks live stream where we disseminate real life experience and real information. We don't shook and jive and whatever else. So appreciate you coming on tonight and giving these guys your time. And your audience, appreciate you guys so much, man. You're the best. You're the best and most knowledgeable audience on YouTube. I'll stand by that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Totally agree. Happy to be here. And man, yeah, hope to be on again at some point.
All right. We're going to shut you guys down, guys.
Thanks, guys.